Do you feel like all of these big action movies are kind of international? Like, yes, James Bond is British and Mission Impossible is American, but like they kind of all have a very like international feeling to them.
Well, I think that's the whole part of being a spy. You kind of go everywhere and you're doing your business in lots of different regions. And being part of being a spy, I think, allows you that kind of international roaming aspect. But what I think is interesting is that it resonates in so many different areas. Like the fact that you have, let's say, like James Bond is very popular in the States, and it's also popular in like China, and it's popular in Africa, and it's popular in like Europe. I think that's kind of what's interesting. But I do think that it does kind of relate to the fact that it's a spy, and potentially every single country has a spy, and maybe that's why.
Right. It's just funny because like the James Bond, like in No Time to Die, where the crisis was not in the UK, right? It's not usually in the UK. The crisis was like between China and no, Japan. Like it was some like random island in the middle of the ocean, and yet like it's James Bond who has to deal with it. Like it's kind of like wherever the crisis is, wherever in the world, like the hero is responsible for saving the world, even if it's not like in their country. But presumably like Japan would have their own action figures, well, I guess like CIA agents or whatever their term is, you know?
Yeah.
But these figures just like go wherever in the world. They're always traveling.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like just so common like to always like think about. I think also like there's the sense of like we accept that there are spies. And I guess like in my head I'm like, okay, yeah, surely like governments will have spies. Governments will have like they will send people elsewhere, but I think there's like this universal, almost like international level of understanding that their spies just can't exist. Like in my head sometimes I'm just like, wait, how do I believe that Bond exists? How do I believe, or he doesn't exist obviously, but like how do I believe that, and I'm okay with the sense that like this movie is about a spy. I don't know that spies exist, but somehow it's still believable. And so sometimes I kind of feel like spy movies are like superhero movies.
Well, I think like there are agencies in each government which have people who are like spies, but I don't know if they actually refer to themselves as spies. Like the whole idea of a super spy or like a James Bond character, like that's probably not anything like what these people experience, you know? Like spies, especially when things are like rough between countries, like international relations are not going well. It's probably about like state secrets and like keeping secrecy and not like preventing the nuclear end of the world as we know it, you know? Like I mean
Yeah.
maybe it is in some cases, but I don't think it's like what these movies imagine.
So kind of like there's less action and perhaps a
Yeah.
bit more, I don't know, like passing of information from within a country. So maybe there's a lot more. Do you think there are gadgets?
No. I mean, not like what we see in the movies. I don't think so. But it's kind of like that's what all movies do, right? Like they really romanticize certain ideals. Like I remember in high school, some of my friends were super obsessed with Suits, the TV show, and like this one guy in particular, like he wanted to become a lawyer because he was like, I want to
No.
be Harvey, whatever his name is. He's like,
I was
I
gonna say
want that
Harvey
lifestyle.
Dent.
What?
Not Harvey Dent.
That's who I was thinking. I was like, his name's not Harvey Dent. That's not him. Because they're like, that's who I want to be when I grow up. But like that kind of lifestyle, like that's not realistic. It's just a romanticized version of the truth. And so I think whether it comes to like spy movies or movies about lawyers or whatever, like how it's depicted in Hollywood or on screen is not how things are in real life.
I still like to think that there are gadgets though, and potentially not the gadgets that we see on screen, but gadgets in the sense of like there are clever ways of hiding something. So I would even classify like, you know, like what those books where you have like the cutout in the middle of the book and then people put something in the book. Like I think that that's a gadget, even though it's not, you know, like a really nice watch that sends whatever darts or whatever, or like a car that spins around and does etc., or is not bulletproof. I kind of still consider that a gadget. So I think gadgets exist, but maybe it's just me trying to be like spies kind of exist, because I think that that's kind of, not that it's fun, but it's like just something there that makes me think, oh, maybe James Bond is just like roaming around the world.
Maybe they have more advanced technology than we do, but I don't think they're walking around with like the 20th version of the iPhone. Put it that way.
Yeah. I don't think that they would even use iPhones. Maybe they would make their own phones.
Like the Spy brand. It's like, oh, what brand is your phone? Spy. Spy brand.
Do you have the latest Spy brand? And it's like Apple, it's an entire ecosystem. You have like Spy brand phones, Spy brand computers and watches, etc.
And the symbol instead of an apple is just like a person running or like a motorcycle or something.
Imagine it's actually like just like the Bond logo with like the little like, you know, the hole. That's the gun. What is it? The gun chamber? I don't know. Like I don't even know. Barrel. See, I would never be able to be a spy.
Yeah, we're much better sitting here and talking about spy movies.
And talking about whether they exist and what kind of gadgets they might be using. I think I'm more likely to succeed as a superhero than a spy.
Cheryl, I think you need abilities in order to be a superhero. I don't want to discount your current abilities, but I think that might pose a bit of an issue.
Okay, but think about it this way. I kind of feel like if I were a superhero, then I would get powers somehow. But then if you're a spy, you basically just have to depend on what you are physically now. Like, I'm not very fast. I'm not very strong. In fact, I'm very not strong.
They go through so much training. You think they were all born to be James Bond? Like, no, he's been training for years to get in that kind of, like, shape and be that kind of fighter.
But then superheroes, you can remain as you are now, and then you just get handed a power, and then I just kind of feel like that storyline I would succeed in a lot easier than being a spy.
I think superheroes still go through a lot of training. Like, even think about Batman. Like, he trained with whoever that character was for, like, years. Like, I know the Batman doesn't have, like, actual abilities. He just has a lot of money. But I think that all of these superheroes, like, they all have to go through training.
Okay, what about Iron Man?
I think he still, like, had to practice fighting and stuff. No?
I don't think so.
I feel like he's a good fighter. I think they all have to be good fighters.
Yeah, maybe. You just have to be strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think, in general, the route of being a superhero seems less physically demanding. But life should not be about the shortcuts. Maybe it's actually probably more rewarding to be a spy because you have international reach and you are working potentially on larger issues that are going on in the world. And I'm not saying that crimes within Gotham City are unimportant, but I do think that crimes that have like a global scale seem to have just much more of an impact if you're able to like resolve them in time. Like dismantling the bomb at the very last millisecond,
saving
in
all of
Mission
humanity
Impossible. Yeah,
and them not even
exactly.
knowing that they were in danger.